Recorded Books and RB Digital present Death in a Mood Indigo by Francine Mathews. Narrated by Madeline Mabey. Chapter 1. "I could help," Nan Markham said. "I could." Even to her own ears, her voice was plaintive and young, the voice of a neglected baby. "I could carry the water for you in my pail." Nan lifted a dull red plastic sand bucket and waggled it tentatively toward her brother's unfeeling back. But Cecil was absorbed in his digging, the castle's trench a widening perfection of scarp and contrascarp, the turrets rising wetly against the blue-black of the surf. He had worked at the fortifications for days, each afternoon when school was over, and now for the bulk of Saturday. What the tide and the weather destroyed in the hours of darkness, Cecil patiently rebuilt, in a determined contest with time and the sands. The two children were always out of doors, despite the gloom of the deserted beach, the fitful showers of chill rain. Even immersion in this dispiriting spring was preferable to being at home. Nan brushed back a strand of bright red hair and hugged her sweatered arms closer to her body. The wind scoured her cheek with stinging grains. "Mummy said to let me help." The last resort of the tag-along, the invocation of Mummy. Disgusted with herself and her 8-year-old weakness, disgusted with her brother and his silence and his solitary building, she kicked at the nearest rampart. "Stupid, stupid old castle! I hate your castle, Cecil!" Her wanton destruction left him unmoved. That was Cecil's way. He did not react like other boys, with a shove or a blow or the careful plotting of revenge. He did not offer curses. He merely looked at his little sister, incomprehension and tedium filling his face, and said, "Go away, Nan. There's going to be a battle." And so Nan turned disconsolately from the rampart she had ruined and trudged off toward her secret place in the dunes to sit on a piece of driftwood and arrange a tea party. She used shells for teacups and her thoughts for friends. And Satchmo, her beloved Satchmo, his fur matted from repeated bouts with sand and salt water, his huge body shapeless from lying too long on the kitchen floor, his legs dangerously arthritic as he stepped each morning into the pounding surf. Satchmo settled down in the dune grass opposite her and waited eternally for his tea. A gull cried from its perch a few feet away, and Nan turned to stare at it, malevolent dark eye, cruel mustard beak. It lifted one reptilian claw and flicked an orange peel her way. What did the gulls do, she wondered, when flying is not enough? The clouds were lowering on the rain-swept horizon, but before the iron grip of storm closed the sun's eyes forever, a faint glimmer of light shafted across the turbulent sea. Lord Cecil of Trevar raised a hand to his brow and gazed intently at the enemy fleet and its forest of billowing black sails. In salute to the vanishing sun, a 14-pound gun roared from the flagship's bow, a challenge and a curse in its orange flare. And seconds later, the ball whistled past Trevar's noble head. "Get down, my lord," his lieutenant cried and gripped his ankle in desperation. "We shall not prevail by skulking within doors," Lord Cecil shot back, his expression both proud and bitter. "The castle can avail us nothing now. To the fore, lads, and show a brave face, or die in the attempt." He sprang down from the breastworks, his feet finding soft purchase on the sand below, and raced to the water's edge, his standard raised high. The first of the enemy's landing boats were racing toward shore, filled to their gunwales with scores of men. In a matter of moments, his own would be outnumbered. To die, then, and die nobly in defense of what he held most dear. This was his last, his only, destiny. Gordon, his faithful retainer, appeared suddenly at his side, holding the reins of...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.